Good morning, out again on this cracking, beautiful Sunday morning, in an opposite field to where we were last week. Didn't really get enough footage last week to put anything together, so combine it with this week's. Yeah, another great field, and out with the Berkshire Detectorists, and people have started, so looking forward to a great day. Okay, let's get on it. Let's see what we can find. Good morning. Here we are, out on another dig, in a lovely location, cultivated field, some of it is, and we're out with Berkshire Detectorists this morning, and here is the first signal, apart from something I just chucked in the hedge. And that is a blinding 27, 28, 29, just screaming to be dug out of the ground. So let's get it out, see what we got. Okay, so our 27, 28, sometimes 29 turned out to be this, with what looks like it's got a spring in the middle. I haven't got a clue what that is, but there you go. 27, 28, 29. Was hoping for something better. Anyway, on to the next. Definitely going to dig all the numbers today. I'm not going to walk away from anything, but this is a bit of a bouncer. What we reckon? 10, 11, sometimes 12. Strong, but jumpy. Well, let's get it out, see what we got. Okay, our 10, 11, jumpy 10, 11, 12. Tiniest bit of lead. Oh well, on to the next. Okay, I said I was going to dig all the numbers, but I wasn't going to go and dig this one. But 17, dropping down to about 9, up to 11, 17, 11, 17, 11, and tiny little pistol ball, stroke musket ball. But scratchy signal, didn't really want to dig it, but happy for that, another one for the jar. Okay, plenty of time yet. Okay, in the spirit of digging everything, we have a very solid 14-15, and it sounds lovely. So okay, let's get this one out of the ground. My 14-15 is out the ground. I've got it in my hand, and I'm heading literally just there. And I've got the grid reference from an old Archie, what you want to call it, excavation or dig that took place a little while ago, and there is the remains of a Roman village, not a very big one, so they've done some test pits down there, and so we're approaching, you know, the old Roman land, and my 14-15 was this, just a brief look. I thought it was a brooch, wishful thinking, and it turns out it's a bastard nail. Can you believe it? But we're not that far away, and I'm just hoping, please, gods, detecting gods, there's going to be some little Roman coins or something, just something decent just coming out of there. So we're not far away. Okay, let's go and get some more signals. Now this was a really sweet signal. So started off at banging 19. Now it's jumpy. Typical, isn't it? Absolutely typical. But said we dig everything, so it's dropped 19 down to 14-15. A little bit scratchy, but right. Okay, let's get it out, see what we got. Okay, well, a colossal deep hole for my 14-15, I think it was, if I can remember rightly. It's just taken ages to dig that, just for a lump of lead. Okay, well, c'est la vie, as we say back in Pontypridd. There you go, on to the next. Okay, so more or less bang on top of where I wanted to be, where this old dig was. And here, lovely jubbly, 21, 22, absolutely solid. Just there. Okay, let's get it out. Okay, so our 2021 belting signal, not particularly deep, hard skip to beat, but bloody bottle top, so sadly just trash. But hey ho, plenty of time left, loads of land to cover, so on to the next. Whoa, took some finding. Whew, knackered. Solid 14, 15 at times. We got what looks like a broken old buckle, but not many signals, or not many fruitful signals at the moment. But anyway, it is what it is. I'll take that. Okay, on to the next. So here's our next signal. And you know what? It's very faint. But what the heck, I'm going to get it out. Let's have a look, see what we got. So, our ever so quiet, scratchy 6-7 turned out to be this stupid little piece of bloody aluminium, or tin, or whatever it is, off a ring pull. Oh well, on to the next. So just doing this cultivated bit now. Little break from getting through all the stubble, and had a little murmur of a 7, little scratchy thing. 7 on the VDI, and what's this little thing? And to my eye, looks like it's got kind of like a, I don't know, got something on it. So I'm going to get it wet and see if anything shows up. Okay. So initially I thought I could see a kind of cross on there, but getting it wet, none the wiser. But who knows? Do you know what I mean? My mind playing tricks on me again. But anyway, coming up to lunchtime, getting hungry, get a break. So back in a moment. Okay, very first signal for today, screaming at 8, up to 11, down to about 9, leveling out at 8. Just tom back button. But good start. So another one for the jar. Excellent, on to the next. Okay, ringing in at a stonking 13. Just Elizabeth II old coin. Not kind of sure what, can't really see the back of it, but potentially an old 5p, I think. But yeah, coins do give off a real pinging signal. That was an absolute solid, very loud 13. So there you go. On to the next. This next signal was quite interesting. It was kind of a really ropey 6 bouncing up to 8, back down to 6 again, and dug it, and now it's jumped up to a 12, 13, 14 on occasion, and it's just there, and it's just a tom back button, but it's just strange that it was 6 up to 8, then when uncovered, bouncing up 13, 14, 12, 13, 14, but yeah, just a typical tom back button. Okay, on to the next. Okay, it's taken me about an hour to walk from the bottom of that field there, and today's land is, woo, it's a big old field that way, But the joys of coming out on some of these digs is that more often than not the farmer lets you, you know, sort of go on some other fields at the same time. And we're back on this one, and we were on this field I think back in early to mid-June, I think it was, and someone had a beautiful quarter stator around this area here. Myself, musket ball, nice little Eddie the Fourth halfpenny I think it was, or penny, not quite sure, and a little Roman that sadly didn't make its way home. God knows where that is. I'm not going to go and try and find it again. But yeah, so it's good to be back in this field. The stubble's a little bit longer than, you know, sort of, which is, you know, nice to swing around in, but it is what it is. Give it a go. Stay in here for about an hour or two, go back and have some lunch and carry on in the original field, which was sort of down that way. Okay, let's get on with it. There's a bit of a big difference from when we were here last, because it was a really, really wet day. The ground was lovely and soft, and the ground is rock hard. But okay, we've got ourselves a signal somewhere here. Solid 14-15. So without further ado, let's get this one out. Let's see what we got. And nothing to write home about, just an old bottle top of some description. But hey ho, on to the next. Banging 12. Absolute banging 12. And we'll uncover it. Bastard. Bloody ring pull. But c'est la vie. Stonking signal. On to the next. Really scratchy 7, and that was rock hard to dig for a tiny little pellet, but screaming 7. On to the next. First signal for a little while now, and all we've had so far is spendable 10p, so it wasn't my Lizzie the second coin, which I thought was an old 5p, was a new spendable 10p, but just goes to show how quickly all this modern coinage deteriorates. But here we've got a nice little 18, 17, definitely diggable. So let's get this one out, see what we got. Okay, so our lovely little 18 signal. Okay, flipped over. Ooh. Okay, potentially a bit of silver. It's not a button. So okay, let's get it wet and see if we can get any detail off it. Right, 2 ticks. Okay, well this does actually scream button, but on the reverse, no shank at all. It's completely flat. There's no indication, but rubbish that side, and a silver gild on that side. So has to be a button of some description, I would have thought. Stonking signal though, 18, pingity ping. So anyway, on to the next. News just in, and Justin, who's over there in the distance, I think he was in the next field, which is just there, but beautiful quarter stater, gold quarter stater, beautiful coin, so well done mate. That's the second one off this particular area, so here in June. Martin had a lovely quarter stater from around about that area, and I think Justin's was just beyond that again, so fantastic. But here we've got stonking 18. Let's get rid of that. 17, 18, up to 19. Definitely diggable, screaming at me. So let's get this one out, see what we got. Well, that was quite shallow, but just a stubborn old bit of lead. Nothing fab, screaming at 18, 17, 18, 19. Bit of lead. There you go, on to the next. So as alluded to earlier on, here's Justin's quarter stater. Initially looking silver, but it is gold. It's a stonker, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Lovely jubbly, well done you.
Thank you very much.
They're here. Okay, so there you have it. That was just a collection of stuff over the last 2 weeks from the same area, 2 different fields, well actually 3, because we were lucky enough to get on a field on Sunday that was adjacent to the field that we were in originally, but we were permitted to go back on there. We last done that field, I believe it was in June. Real wet day, chalk and cheese. I mean, you know, it was hard going, really hard back in June. Easy digging, very wet, much more signals, but it was great to be out, and not a massive amount in terms of fines or anything like that. It was great to see, you know, the quarter stater that Justin found, and amazingly, when you look at the coin firsthand, it's kind of like a silvery colour. Turn it in a different direction, when the light catches it, it turns into a rosy gold colour, and it's a beautiful coin. But the other interesting thing is that with these 2 fields, that, you know, there's a hedgerow between the 2. One was found one side of the hedgerow, one was found the other side of the hedgerow. So interesting that in such close proximity there was 2 of these quarter staters found. Beautiful coins. So that was it. Love being out. Always great company. Lovely to see other people's finds. Lovely to catch up with people and have chat. So looking forward to getting back out. And out again on Wednesday or Thursday. Got a hot date. Oh yeah. So looking forward to that. Going detecting with this person, going down to Glastonbury. So that is a place I love going to. It's a permission that I've had for quite a few years now, probably 5 or 6 years. I don't get down there as often as I'd love to, but every time I go down, it's just an amazing day out. Being among the animals, catching up with Simon, my old mate down there. And there's always something new that he's done on the land, so it's always a buzz to go down there, and hopefully be able to get on some of the new fields that have been made available. Just depends on grass height and stuff like that, so fingers crossed, and tune in. As I say, we're down there Wednesday or Thursday of this coming week, with a hot date. Looking forward to that, so tune in. We'll see you then. Have a great week, and many thanks for tuning in. All the best, guys.